No. I just like to read the TV guide. Read the TV guide. Don't need a TV.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk here.
Over 1,600 titles, each for rent at just $2 the first night, and only...
Oh, you're so cool, Brewster!
Give me the power, I beg of you.
Welcome to the Frog Brothers podcast with your hosts, Justin and Alec.
Hello, and welcome to episode 82 of the Frog Brothers podcast.
80.
I was about to burp, and I was going to try to burp in space, but I couldn't do it.
Oh.
Like, the burp was like, it came, and then it was like...
Yeah, this motherfucker's riding the fader like all the way to plus 10 on the Unity game. Like way past, like crank this thing.
Episode 83.
I was pulling up I was like Marty McFly. It is the episode 83.
It is.
You live in a... like
time zone. Let's do
I
the
double-checked
time
it.
warp
as
again.
Psycho Goreman would say,
I haven't even been here in a week, so
something
I know what
along the
episode it
lines
is.
Yeah,
of...
fuck, I don't know. I think I even did episode 82 art last week.
Time only
For the first time in a
matters
minute.
to beings who cannot shift through the ninth dimension.
Episode numbers only matter to beings who cannot shift through the ninth dimension.
Everyone turned the episode off thinking they'd already heard it.
Turn it off.
They thought it was our first rerun.
So there's some trailers out this week.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched 2 out of 3 of them.
It's a literal trailer park.
I'm having some issues this week, let's say, about this new Ghostbusters trailer that dropped today.
So, yeah, the Ghostbusters trailer dropped today, and everyone who's seen it, that saw it at New York Comic Con or other ways, was basically like, hey, don't watch this if you want to go in fresh. And so...
I will credit Craig Goldberg from Yes Have Some. They dropped a
Yes.
podcast, and he was like, listen, if that international trailer drops at all in the next few weeks or anything in America, you need to not watch it if you want to go in super fresh, because I've seen the movie at the New York Comic Con screening, and I would have not liked to have seen this before that.
Yeah, several members of our Ghostbusters franchise watched it, and they said it's very spoilery. So
I mean, they're all for it, which, I mean, I get it, but at this point, I've waited 2 years. I don't want to be spoiled like a month before, so I'm just kind of like, I want to stay fresh. That being said, everyone on social media is doing every fucking screen grab humanly possible
they
and
assume
posting it.
everyone's watched it.
They're like, hey, everybody, check this out. And you're like, no. Sometimes we'll repost official Ghostbuster stuff, but when everyone does the same fucking screen grab of the same thing and post it, you're just like, it's boring. That's not boring. That's quality content. A burp
Right.
with that kind of reverb sounds like you're speaking with God here.
That was God burping after he gargled the cum of Satan.
Are any of the Facebook groups saying you can't post this as a spoilery, or are they saying it's in a trailer, so it's not?
I haven't really come across that. I know GB fans, AJ Quick over there, made the point of saying that they're not going to show the trailer because it's too spoiler heavy. So there's some serious. There's people in the fandom that respect people want to go in fresh, and there's people that just don't give a fuck about anybody but themselves.
Well, hey, calm down,
big surprise.
calm down, bad cop. I'm going to be good cop here.
You're going to be a good cock?
I'm going to be good cop for once. And usually I'm the one who's like, fuck this shit, I hate these people, fuck everyone, but...
How are you not always in Facebook jail?
Because
he's
I'm
smarter at
tactic now.
Facebooking than you?
I'm smart now.
Yeah,
For a while, I would just go off
What
on
am
people
I-
and say, you know what?
yeah.
Your mom should have aborted you, and I hope your clit gets caught in your zipper. But now I'm more clever.
Yeah, I got a ban for an abortion thing, I think.
I'll say things
Telling
like...
someone should have been aborted, yeah.
I will just say
Can't do
things
it.
like, this is...
No, I said that their parents were related,
Oh,
like blood related.
you got banned for that?
Yeah.
Well, that's because somebody probably reviewed that report.
But
and
if
was
I
like,
could
yeah.
prove that his parents are blood related, I might have gotten that reversed. But
You sound like
Yeah.
Bill Maher when he was getting sued by Trump for saying he was the son of an orangutan. He said that on his show once, and Trump tried to sue him.
but you can't because it's absurd,
Yeah.
and you can't successfully.
He's like, well, this is a comedy show.
Yes, it's absurd.
And you're actually here
orange.
disrupting the court systems with bullshit. So you're a problem here. Anyway,
All right, so Mr. Good Cop.
what was I saying? Oh, about you were saying fuck all these people sharing the shit around. We've done that to everything else but this, and the only reason we're not is because we've heard in advance that we shouldn't be watching it. So
No.
I want to say that we're not as
But everybody on Facebook thinks they're the first person to see this and share
well,
it.
true. I mean,
So
when
everyone does
here's the
it,
thing: I don't have a
it's-
problem when news sources, podcasts, anyone doing stuff like that, even GB Max,
Well, then
people
you know
like that.
if they
Fuck
share
yeah.
spoilers and you can just unfollow
But I'm saying
them.
those types of people, I don't mind if they're posting about the trailer and stuff because,
Right.
and that's just
Yeah.
that's what that is. But
For
when
news,
every
yeah.
person, if you're saying, just like was posting it and being like, hey, look.
Well, yeah, and I can't tell you how many. You've probably seen it because everyone's shown the scene of the Ecto. Spoiler alert.
See, I don't know that.
Jumping or flying through the air.
I don't know this.
We're past the spoiler alert, so you're good to listen.
It's like Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, exactly. And so everyone's sharing that same image over and over and over again. And I get that we're right at the hype point of the film, but it's like, how many times can you see that stuff in your newsfeed? And then you see that, and you're like, well, what else are they going to post? That's what makes me worried. It's just for spoiler alerts. It's like if you're willing just to go reshare
Did you see
that.
the new poster too?
Yeah, that's what I say. It's happened to be on my Instagram. feed
Poster
right
I
now.
don't care about, and I didn't-
Supposedly there's a big surprise in the poster if you look. I don't
Is
know.
there? Let me look at
I
it.
haven't looked at it that close.
I didn't zoom in on
I'll-
this poster
I will
at all
look at
because
it.
I assume that too.
I know the OGs are like silhouettes in the background, but that's not really a big
Oh.
surprise. Why you don't want to watch the trailer, but you want to look for spoilers in the poster?
Yes, because it's a poster, it's a little bit less.
Yeah.
It's one image.
Do you think they'll all stand together like that in the movie, or is that a spoiler?
Well, do you think Paul Rudd is
They're all-
actually that much bigger than McKenna Grace? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, he could probably eat her head.
He's a
And
giant.
podcast, he's really fucking small.
Mm-hmm.
And then actually, there's two McKennas. So,
Oh yeah, because she's in the gunner seat too.
so you think she has a twin? That's a huge
my
reveal
God.
right there. That's it.
No, they're
That's
Fucking
it.
spoiler
Holy
alert.
fuck!
It's from the Answer the Call universe.
We're
It's
breaking
her
it
from there.
right now. Yes.
McKenna Grace from Answer the Call universe.
Oh, I see it. That's not the original Ghostbusters. That's Patty, Abby, and
Oh.
Holtzman.
Where's the
Oh,
other?
yeah, that's a
where's
good
the other
call.
woman?
Top corner.
Where's the other woman?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe she's dead. To keep it in universe. No, podcast does have a fucking shotgun microphone, which is dope. You notice that?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I don't know what I'm doing here.
He's got
going
that-
through your stuff. I'm rifling through your shit, Nick.
He's got that in that shot of them firing the proton gun for the first time.
Yeah, it's just
They
you're.
show
I'm
with
more
that mic.
focused on the proton gun at that point.
I've seen another screenshot from that scene with him holding that. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff coming out with that. So if you're trying to go in fresh, just avoid that trailer. But while we're on the Ghostbusters kick, I will say Hasbro PulseCon is this coming weekend. So we'll record on Monday. So if you're listening on Tuesday, Wednesday, you've got Hasbro PulseCon going on over the weekend.
I heard there's no new toys.
There's a Ghostbusters segment where they're going to show a Afterlife clip or an Afterlife clip. They said they have no new announcements to make. That could be bullshit. It may not be. But there's two things in that. It could be that there are heavy spoilers.
son of a bitch!
Heavy spoilers in Wave 3 of the Plasma series. Or Alec Deep Throat's a action figure that got recalled. The like the little ghost trap remote control Echo one.
Go!
Or the freighters got raided by pirates.
Yeah.
Don't be mad that you don't got a deep throat like me. You know what they call me in the club? Motherfucking giraffe. Got the deepest throat.
I gag brush.
You know what I'm saying? They call me giraffe.
You gag brushing your own teeth.
If it goes back too far.
Mm.
If you're scraping your tongue.
I'll just say this. I know.
He knows I don't have much of a deep throat.
I very much know this. From personal experience. The joke is that he blows me.
Just the tip.
Well, you guys were sleeping in my living room together for a little while. Pretty close, so there's a reason I didn't ever come out in the middle of the night to see what was going on.
Pants up instead.
In the middle of the night.
I'm walking in the sleep.
See Alex digging
So I guess let's talk about some Batman.
Which one?
Batman, you say?
Let's talk about the Batman first.
Oh.
The
Robert-
Batman. Hey,
Robert-
let's talk about the most important thing. The comment and your philosophy on that it looks like the Riddler's logo looks like
The Zodiac Killers. Obviously, no, I get that he's a reference to the Zodiac Killer in this completely.
Yeah.
but it's too on the fucking nose, I think, because his logo
It's
is
very, very
much
direct.
I
the
thought-
Zodiac Killer's logo with a question mark in it.
I thought you meant the Batman, as in Michael Keaton.
No, the movie titled The Batman, Dick knows.
That's the Batman, not the Batman.
True. I don't give a
Same
fuck.
word, in case you didn't know.
No, the means something totally different.
Today, Junior?
Exactly.
Awkward silence. I hope you get yourself caught in a zipper.
You know how badly I can beat you, right?
So Riddler puts a question mark in his cappuccino.
Yeah. Which is, oh my god, that honestly is a little bit cheesy and reminds me of Mr. Joker laying in a circle of knives in Suicide Squad.
Do you
Yeah.
think that the Riddler
But I don't know.
wanted to get captured? Are they doing the Dark Knight
Yes.
/
Yes.
Skyfall again?
100%. If not, then
It's all-
he's a moron.
It's all part of his plan. Yeah, 'cause
Exactly.
He's just sitting in a
It's
coffee
all part of the plan.
shop. As long as there's a plan.
I guess my favorite thing about this trailer
I just
so
want my
far-
phone call. That's kind of what this is going to be. I hear voices inside. The fucking cell phone shit. Yeah. Do the whole
yeah, I
thing.
forgot about that.
Who gives a fucking shit?
What were you saying? What were you saying, Justin?
I'm just going to say that my favorite part of this trailer is it looks like there's a decent number of villains in here that may just have some small story arc, or, they're not trying to shoehorn everyone in, like Batman Returns and Batman and Robin, like where they keep adding crazy number of villains. How fucking high are you?
I'm not high at all.
What?
I've never been high in my life.
Yeah, whatever.
You're the fucking one who smokes all
Eyes
the
look
weed.
like you just use Windex.
Clear eyes.
Well, I don't have anything for aftershave.
Well, the theory is Penguin's not in it a lot. But then you also got Falcone.
Yeah, it's going to be
Catwoman's
interesting.
more like the love foil.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't care about that because they always stuffed a bunch of them into the Batman movies, kind of. So
I'm getting like a modern take on Batman 66 vibes from this trailer. Just what I'm saying, like with the cast, and not like in that campiness, but just like a wide variety
The
of
mirror
of
the
characters,
polar
right?
opposite. But
Just some
well, I
silly
mean, yeah,
shit.
the same characters, kind of. Well, they even show like Joker goons, kind of like they're like clown makeups, or like are they?
right,
Part
are they
of
like
Joker's
old
crew.
Joker followers, or are they more like the clowns that follow the Penguin that still
No,
the circus clowns,
no,
in Batman Returns,
that
where
was
you're
a
like,
Batman
wait,
Returns thing,
wait.
though. Well, it's
are they?
possible,
What's happening here?
It's
Are they just obsessed
possible-
with clowns? Tim Burton, you sit down.
It's possible in this universe he's already fought the Joker. Maybe Joker's in Arkham, and these are some of his gang members that are still out. But it also seemed like in the trailer that they've never seen Batman before. Don't they react like they've never seen him?
Yeah, but you don't.
So
I
I
don't
don't know.
That's my only concern with this is another origin story. Like I don't give a
Well,
fuck.
it's
I know
year
how Batman
2.
started.
It's his second year, so it's not.
Oh, it's so specific as the year one. Like,
Yeah, it's supposed to be a second
Yeah.
year, so it's not fully origin. Like, very.
I swear to God, if I see some pearls hitting the ground, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Yeah, I do not.
I
need to see
I
fucking,
swear to God, I will shit. I will take a shit in the theater.
Like how many fucking times
I'll
can
clean
you
it up,
kill us? How many
'cause I
times
feel
can you
bad
make
for
us
staff,
watch his
but-
parents die? Like I don't give a fuck anymore.
At this point, it's just porn, death porn.
Exactly. At this point, you're just like
I want to see those fucking. I want to see the Waynes fucking die again. You know what I'm saying?
pretty much everyone's like, oh, I could do that death scene so much cooler.
Even the end of Joker, they did it. They were like, "Yeah, let's fucking
Yeah,
put those pearls in here, baby."
but Thomas Wayne was an actual character in the movie.
I know.
too,
I know.
so
I'm not saying it was completely the
probably
same or
the-
anything.
the best use of it, maybe because it was actually part of the movie.
I agree, but I'm just still saying, like, even that had it in there.
Though I really liked in Batman versus Superman too, the way they did it.
I mean,
They
they just
cut
fucking
with
fit
the
it in there,
trailer.
It wasn't bad in that movie. It was a decent portrayal of it, but it was still, again, like, this isn't even a Batman solo movie, bitch.
Well, if they didn't need to keep starting over, we wouldn't
Yeah.
really need it either. But it kind of makes sense when you start over. You're like, I don't know.
I think you're at a point though where you're finding out that you don't have to start over. People know the
Spider-Man
basic
did it,
lore
right?
enough.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The new Spider-Man didn't show it.
They haven't even shown Uncle Ben or even said his name. They've
Yeah.
referenced him and, like, referenced the tragedy, but that's it.
I don't think they even. Yeah, that's beautiful. They never
That's
had a
because
cast
we've
anybody
had
as
2 Spider-Man reboots, or 3 in 20 years. So
We've had how many Batman?
we had 3 in less than 20 years. We had, right? 2001 was the first Maguire, right?
At this point,
And then Civil War was 2016.
Christian Bale's Dark Knight Rises came out in 2012, right? So in the last 10 years, if you now include Michael Keaton again because he's in another one, that's fucking 4 Batmen.
Batman.
Yes, Batmen. They're Batmen at this
At
point.
this point, there's a whole group of them.
There's 4 different continuities.
Exactly. It's interesting.
Yeah, no, there's a lot going on there.
But yeah,
Although
so
I
the
guess-
Flash trailer I only watched once. Also, but
I watched it twice.
I'm gonna watch it again. I just noticed his voiceover immediately when I was
Michael
watching it, and then
Keaton's
the,
voiceover.
the
Yeah, his
silhouette of the
voiceover.
bat suit, and you're like in the bat cave, and you're just like,
Yeah, you see that Batcave, which actually looks kind of like...
can we just fuck off with the Flash and just give me a Keaton Batman movie? I mean, have the Flash at the beginning of the Batman movie instead of the Batman inserted into the Flash movie. That way you can explain the whole crossover universe shit and then fuck off with the Flash. And
here's
just give
the
me
thing.
Keaton.
Is this a way for them to...
They said they're making him the Mike Fury of this universe, so...
Mike.
Oh.
Nick Fury. I said Mike Fury. That's fucking amazing.
That's amazing. He's so high. He's like Mike Fury.
Mike Fury is his
Nick,
brother
Mike.
who lost his eye because he was smoking too much fucking drugs or something.
The
And
babysitter put it out in his eye when he was back talking. That's fucked up.
I think DC's coming around though, where they're not so worried about this copying. The
I
MCU.
think this is them finally realizing they don't have to be the
well, they never
MCU
tried to
just
copy
do their
them
own
well
thing.
up. If they did, they would have established some shit
copy
first.
They tried to catch
the
up and try to do
interconnected
that same thing, but it's
right.
like just do your own shit. You guys have been doing your own shit for forever. That's the thing. That's like it was never a competition. You have different
Marvel did
properties.
push back some movies today too.
Yeah,
Right.
they pushed back.
But
What
not-
was it? 5 or
Not
6
very
of them?
far though.
They're
Yeah, they
like-
were like a couple months each.
Yeah, they're only like pushed back like
they
2 months.
they took off 2 unnamed ones off the schedule completely, but we didn't even know what they were yet. So
I heard there's some kind of strike or impending strike
Uh-huh.
or something. So
There is.
that might
it's
be
most
part of
it's
the
with
wreck.
it's the IATSE strike, and it's mostly the
Oh, it's like
production crews.
It's like the electric.
Yeah, so
electricity
there was
people,
talk
It's
of
the
that.
grips, the gaffers, the
electricians and-
cameramen,
Yeah.
maybe even. I'm not
So
sure.
I don't know if
about
that's a
that
reaction
part,
to that or
So, well, there's several things. So they wanted some better COVID protocols, I think, with that within
and
the
better
union.
pay and less.
And
They
better
wanted
pay.
better hours because in film, lots of these people have to do crazy fucking hours, like 12 to 16-hour
they're not
days.
sleeping and then they're doing dangerous shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then it's like, no, we want an 8-hour workday, and we want at least 1 or 2 days off a week too. Like that's not too much to fucking ask for to be able to exist.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like TV productions have a lot more time.
Well,
'cause they're
also,
not doing 25
also
episode
there's a deal
seasons
with
anymore.
Netflix and some of these online streamer providers that made it so they could hire these people for a lot cheaper for a certain period of time until the streaming services got up and were able to actually pay for things. And now they're the fucking big timers, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they should be paying more again, and they're trying to get rid of that pay. They're trying to get more pay again.
And so last thing I heard this morning was they had an agreement, but they didn't think the agreement was going to be accepted, or they had an offer, a counter offer that they didn't think was going to be accepted. They thought it was still going to be going on for a little bit. So we'll see.
But
But-
they have not delayed any of the Marvel movies coming out this year. So
No, they-
Spider-Man and
Yeah, those are still on the
Anything
docket.
that's already been shot is pretty much good.
Right, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But
Some
any-
people are like, "Is it COVID? Are they not confident about COVID in theaters now?" And I'm like, no, I
No,
don't think
people
that's
just
it."
don't
They weren't
understand
pushed
how-
back very far either. Most of
2
those
months, yeah.
are probably shot already. What else?
Well, there's a lot
Black
of people,
Panther 2 was probably getting ready to shoot, I think. but
and
I'm
Black
not sure.
Panther 2 is shooting in Atlanta, is what they're saying. So that's going to be something else. But I mean, that union still carries over.
That will
so-
still have people in the union
What's-
there.
Yeah,
Not all of them,
exactly.
but yeah.
What's this year? Eternals and Spider-Man?
Unless all these movies are gonna, that's gonna be fucking weird though. If Disney just hires people that aren't in union to work on these movies for this shit, that'd be interesting. But also, like on one hand, I don't know if that's immoral for the is that scabbing or is that good to give the people who aren't in unions potential to have. I mean, I don't even know. You know what I mean? It's kind of
It's-
conflicting.
It's one of those things.
I'd
yeah,
have to
where
have somebody more educated on it. Tell me.
Yeah, you'd have to get
Moving
somebody
away
that's
from
actually
unions,
inside.
do you think that's a good or bad thing?
No, that's a bad thing in general.
So
Yes.
it's a bad thing.
Yeah. But
It's-
those
it's-
people usually that's how they get work is get into unions as being hired by somebody like that, like too. So
Yeah, getting into your organizations out there.
it's not easy to get into the unions for film stuff. It's doable, but not just like super easy. So
The interesting piece on that, though, is that Indiana Jones got pushed back over an entire year. It went from July of 22 to
Yeah, I heard that guy.
July or August of 23. I want
because
to
that's
say.
shooting right now, so they probably had to stop productions.
That already started
Yeah.
shooting.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
set photos of old fucking
I keep seeing
Harrison Ford and shit. I keep seeing them.
Maybe
Yeah.
break a hip or something.
He did on Star Wars, but
Yeah,
that
there's-
was only 6
Broke
years
his
ago.
leg, yeah.
There was a photo somebody posted of a bunch of people dressed up as Indiana Jones in Italy, and like they ran into him on set. So like there's this giant group photo of like 5 or 6 people, including Harrison Ford, dressed up. It was like making the rounds just because it was kind of iconic to see that on, and that'd be pretty cool too if that's your thing, to run into him while they're shooting it. But
I do like Indiana Jones enough. I've only gotten into it. I liked him enough as a kid, but I couldn't super understand everything that was going on enough. You know what I mean? You could enjoy him for the action and stuff.
The action,
and
once you get some of the
easily
historical
understandable
stuff, yeah.
dialogue, but like they're a little talky for a child, at least more for me to understand. I still watched.
I felt
them.
like Temple of Doom was more easier to digest.
For sure, because there's so much visually going on in that movie that's fucked up. That as a kid, I was kind of horrified watching that one.
Involved too.
True.
You kind of relate to Short Round there.
Yeah, I love Temple of Doom, but that's because I like weird cults and sacrifice
That's
shit.
I always so confused when people. Don't
people
like it.
saying the new one's a time travel movie.
Really?
And some people are
'cause I
upset
heard
again, and I'm like, it's just like Aliens, man, which is just like Jesus
That's
mugs.
not time travel. Why not just flashbacks? Why do they think it's time travel?
Because they have some specific reason to think so. I don't know.
Well, I knew there was stuff being shot with Nazis. I was like, I just figured it was a flashback and they were going to de-age them or something.
But see, even if it is time travel, I don't mind because it's like completely realistic to be like.
People threw such a fit about the aliens, let alone time travel.
But they had fucking Jesus Cup in there.
No, I
which,
know.
I know.
They don't think that religious stuff is ridiculous.
But fuck them. I don't care about them. I want to see. Crystal Skull is not
But
that bad to me. It's not great.
No, I don't think so.
But it's watchable.
But would the people making this movie be like, okay, they didn't like aliens, let's do time travel? It just seems a little...
Well, the thing is,
fuck
if you
'em.
look at the time...
Yeah, but
this one doesn't even have...
They're not going to say fuck them.
Is Spielberg even a producer on this? I'm sure he's a producer.
I don't think he has anything to do with it. Or not much. I don't think.
I don't know.
Or Lucas, was it?
Shit, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's some newer director who's done some stuff in the past years. I don't remember who, though.
That might not be a bad thing, though.
No, I'm not saying it is.
No,
because Scream 5 is being done by somebody completely new, written by new people.
And the trailer looks pretty...
The trailer looks okay. Again, I'm going to say, I don't expect much from horror sequels and shit like that, and horror movies in general usually. There's very few where I'm like, that's a good one. There's nothing I think is silly, so...
Well, Crystal Skull, when you look at it, fit right in place with where that would have been based on the Indiana Jones aging at the time. Like, all the Roswell, New Mexico stuff, that was perfect with that. And people fucking failed to grasp that concept. That's what was going on then. That's very fucking culturally
would it be
accurate.
The 70s now?
The Lost Ark, I mean, come on.
Yeah, so you're still going to be looking at some other shit, but yeah, it's kind of absurd, so... And
it's all absurd. That's my point. But that's what's fun about it, is because it's a little supernatural, all of them.
Suspend your disbelief and enjoy it for what it is, right?
It's like this is your last chance for an Indiana Jones movie. Do you really want him just doing some archaeological shit that's very Raiders in the Lost Ark? You want him doing some crazy shit because this is the last time you're going to get it.
It doesn't make sense for an 85-year-old to be doing this.
No, it doesn't at all. It's pointless.
So...
But it's money, it's nostalgia value at this point. It's them trying to make up for Crystal Skull, but it's probably going to be a worse film, to be honest.
They don't want to go out on Crystal Skull, they probably think.
I don't imagine it being a better film, but we'll see.
You never know.
Yeah, and then there's a whole thing, are they just going to ignore Crystal Skull in this?
That'd be stupid.
Shia LaBeouf.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm
because
saying.
other people would say you may as well ignore Temple of Doom too then. And I'm not one of those people, believe me. I think that's probably my favorite one, but... other people regard it as pretty fucking terrible. A lot of people.
What's terrible about it other than the racist stuff?
A lot of people... I mean, don't even get me started on that shit.
But I mean, as far as quality of production, what's wrong with it?
No. They just think it's a much worse movie. Its ratings are worse, I believe, too.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's the same shit they criticize other garbage for. Everybody brings up the fucking fridge nuclear bomb surviving. I'm like, yeah, but there's fucking... aliens and a lost Ark of the Covenant.
The guy melted.
And it's a movie. It's not... Indiana Jones is never based in real life. I mean... It's a movie.
The fridge is lead-lined. He's fine.
Oh, Jesus. Well, that's about all in the news other than that Psycho Goreman is getting a sequel, and that's the movie we're talking about tonight.
Fuck yeah.
So I guess we'll push it over to that... segment, which is I don't know what to really call this. I guess we're gonna go with
Front Row Video Reviews with the Frog Brothers Podcast.
Psycho Goreman. This is a fucking fun movie.
This is a fucking fun movie, guys.
Like, gee, Scoob. Gee. Oh, fucking... Your app just crashed. Biatch. Don't try to mock me. I will destroy you.
Bitch.
Gee, Scoob.
There we go.
Better late than never.
Better late than never.
Oh my God.
Psycho Goreman.
Hey, that is one other quick thing. Flashing back to the better late than never is that the actual Titanic model used in Ghostbusters 2 is going to be up on one of those auction sites soon.
Right.
Wonder how much that'll go for, and if the Shrek Family Ghostbusters collection is going to get
I have 2 kidneys. I could probably sell one.
No, they're not worth anything.
You're not worth anything.
I never said I was. I'm worth more dead than alive, though. I got a lot of life insurance.
It's not true.
That is true, though. I'm worth more dead than alive. Speaking of dead and alive, yeah, Psycho Goreman, man. Gygax. I love the fucking intro to this, because you're like, what the fuck are we watching? Like, the whole, like, talk opening, it feels like the Power Rangers movie right at the beginning.
Well, yeah, it's doing an open and crawl, but it's like not the crawl. It's just like straight up little words with text, what they do in a lot of movies. But it's very Star Wars meets like medieval Army of Darkness almost feeling.
Yeah, and there's a lot of the action sequences and stuff. Certain sequences really had Power Rangers going in my mind, and some of the music was like all over it. But let's jump in and break this fucking thing down.
Those opening things basically talked about an imprisoned monster and the gem of peroxide or whatever the fuck it's called. I said peroxide. It's like peroxamide or some shit.
So I watched this a few months ago and I fell asleep and didn't rewatch it last night. So my memory might be a little foggy, but I did remember loving it and telling you guys about it, and you finally got around to seeing it.
The movie opens with Luke and Mimi playing Crazy Ball, and that's when they have that Mighty Morphin Power Rangers style music after the little...
It's meant to be Power Rangers sound. It's a
I
sound
know.
alike,
It's intentional, yeah. It's very fun, though, and I love it. That's what makes it work so well for me. It's like, if a Power Rangers fan grew up and made a fucking R-rated movie about it, it's basically what this is. Even the monsters like have that throwback look to some.
Well, the monster. That's what I was going to say. The monsters definitely look like it. There's no actual Power Ranger like costume vibes necessarily, but all the monsters and the other people's costumes do look like monsters and shit from that. The Crazy Ball shit's a little cheesy, but it is just like, all right, this is kids doing their thing,
and it carries through the whole film. So I did like how they circled back to that at the end. I thought that was kind of fun. I like how they had the loser gets buried alive of playing a fucking game in their backyard. Like, you're going to bury your fucking sibling alive? Like, what?
Yeah.
Some crazy shit. That's extreme.
Yeah, then they find the pink gem and the lights and shit glowing under there, and they bring it out or whatever, and then
she accidentally unlocks the thing, yeah.
Yeah, basically they decide to put the dirt back because it's like moving and shaking and shit and making noise. And she says something to like Josh about like, if the monsters come, I hope they kill you first.
You mean to Luke, the brother?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. Yeah, so the loser gets buried alive. They find the...
Justin wrote someone's name down for once.
Yeah, I did. I'm sorry to not know names like a fucking professional. I like how he, Psycho Goreman digs himself up. You know, just gets out of the hole. And then the parents in this movie are pretty funny, too. Like, their dynamic is pretty good. And, like, the most depressing real-life way of, like, here's an unhappy couple that shouldn't be together, yet here they are.
Well, the dad's amazing. Let's just face it. The dad's great. He's my hero.
He had a good sense of humor, I remember.
He's totally fucked up.
But he was, like, really lazy. And didn't
I mean, he's just written comically as fuck. It's I love it. But the kids are like doing Morse code through the wall, and he says something like, I think we woke Grandma, and she says one of my favorite lines, which isn't spoken, but it's, knocked in subtitles is, that's not Grandma, I told you she's in hell. I laughed out loud at that one. We fast forward over to the criminal hideout. This is where Psycho Goreman shows up, and he's like...
Goreman.
Yeah, he's about to fuck some people up.
That was a good fucking... The first kill scene is amazing.
He like is speaking foreign alien language, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And they're like talking shit to him, and he's like, "Ah, I see. You're using this language. It's very primitive."
Yeah, he's like fucking talking hella shit on him. Just like, all right, fucking dumbass.
He like fucking says to the dudes some shit about their flesh being weak after he Vigo lightnings them and lifts them in the air, and then fucking tears their heads off.
Oh, it's like a double Sub-Zero fatality because like their spines come ripping out with their heads. It's beautiful.
The rules.
And it looks really fucking good for what it is. Like, this is a pretty low budget movie.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the effects and the costumes look great.
The creature effects are great.
Yeah.
Those alien assassins. Or
the I don't want to die, then live forever. And he fucking like his eyes are rolling back eternally in his head.
Yeah.
It's so fucking gruesome looking. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's fucking easy to like overlook, but that's hilarious. Like how that guy's just there miserable and he's like, "Kill me."
And I don't know if I'm an old man, if this makes me definitely an old man, but seeing the big hole in the yard when the parents show up, all I can think of is them either hitting a pipe or a utility line of some sort. Like we
got a major gas leak here. Where do you think all this is coming from? The sky?
Remember the movie The Gate from the 80s? Where they had that hole that wouldn't go away?
I haven't seen it, but I'm aware of it.
Fucking little monsters come out of it.
And then they're like saying that the dad should dig put the dirt back, and he starts to do it. He does like one dirt shovel's worth, and he's like, "Ow, my hand. And then she's like, "Oh, okay, big baby." And she's like bringing him inside, and as he's walking away, you can hear really quietly he says, "Don't even look at it. It hurts."
That's hilarious. And then he's got it fucking like wrapped up later in a little sling.
It's amazing. Yeah, then the kids decide to figure out what's going on with Psycho Goreman shit. Like, they don't know, they see the footsteps and they follow it at night.
Yeah, and the next morning they basically see the hole and they're like, yeah, so they track him down. Like, that couldn't have been somebody fell in the hole because the dad's like, somebody fell in the hole drunk walking home from the bar. They're like, are you fucking high?
Right.
That didn't happen.
They get to the little club they're at that night. And, not the club, wherever the fucking people were hanging out, the criminal hideout. And, they see the Eternal Pain guy with his just eyes rolling back in his head, and he's just like, "Ah!" And that's fucking just brutal and hilarious. And then, Psycho Goreman, you hear him, and he's like, "Is that fear I smell?"
Yeah.
And he goes on his little, like, thing about, like, you look like human, you look like men or whatever, but you are tiny. Mm-hmm. No, it doesn't matter, I'll kill you just the same and shit.
Yeah, basically he's taunting them for being children, threatens to eat them.
Says something about drowning people in a sea of their own blood.
Yeah.
And,
he's got some pretty good speeches. I tell you what, man, like his dialogue is so well written, it's hilarious.
Oh, yeah. She tells him to let him go, her brother, because he's like lifted the brother up or whatever.
Yeah, and once he realizes that she has the gem of, was it peroxide?
Peroxamite? Mike?
On the subtitles, it's spelled Paraxidice.
Yes, but it's the way they pronounced it.
I know.
Peroxidite.
Peroxidite, yeah.
Or Paraxamike. Something like that. Peroxidite, Paraxamike, whatever. Who gives a fuck? The Rock lets her command him, and that's basically what that means.
Mm-hmm.
And then the kid's freaking out, and he backs up into the Eternal Pain guy, and he just splatters
everywhere. Yeah,
and he's like, "No, he was my masterpiece."
Yeah, he gets so fucking pissed about it.
And then the mouth on the ground says, "Thank you."
Yeah.
Just like the severed mouth, basically.
No, that's a good scene too. And then Psycho Goreman is so good, like he does these flashback scenes where he's like explaining himself, right? But the one thing that you had quoted after you'd watched this recently, didn't you watch this twice, Alec?
Well, I got a bunch written before that.
Oh, okay.
If you want to go through that real quick here. When they start naming him, they talk about naming him Dinosaurus Flex is one of the names.
Yeah.
They decide on Psycho Goreman, PG for short, and he says, "It's not as good of a name as the Archduke of Nightmares."
Yeah.
And then she tries to tell him a knock-knock joke. She's like, "Knock, knock," and he's like, "Have you succumbed to madness already?"
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, because like if you're a fucking ancient space alien and like you're dealing with a fucking snarky ass pre-teenager,
yeah, she tells him to wait for them there because that's when they're gonna leave, and then he fucking like groans like fucking hilariously and just goes and waits.
But what about the hunky boys line?
That happens later.
It does?
Yes.
Oh,
because then you go to the Council of Gygax.
The Templars?
The Council of Gygax, yes, it's the Templars, but it says it's the Council of Gygax or whatever, on Gygax.
Yeah.
And they're all talking shit about him. And here, the lady, Pandora, that outfit looks like it's just made out of cosplay foam.
It does. A lot of them do, but they're really fucking well done. They
it
look
just goes
good.
to show you what modern, like, they probably had cosplay people doing some shit on this because it was probably, low budget. So it's just like, hey, I know my friend who does fucking dope-ass cosplay foam shit.
Yeah.
But either way, those are fucking dope. They beam in a human and crush her into a skull, basically, so she can, like, take her human form. That's pretty weird. They introduce Alistair at school the next day.
Yeah.
And she, like, obviously has, a crush on Alistair, but he's, like, hanging out with her brother.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, then they bring, PG a TV and some magazines and shit, and this is where they have the line because they're like showing Alistair Psycho Goreman, and she hands him the magazine, and she's like, "Look at that! There's hunky boys in there," and he looks at it, and he's like, "I do not care for hunky boys." And then the music it focuses on him. Yeah, he goes, "Or do I?"
Yeah, it's fucking amazing. That's probably the funniest fucking line in that movie because the execution, the comedic timing is perfect.
It's great. And then he goes to his backstory on Gygax, or like flashes back and does all that interesting shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I love all the way the effects look in that because there's miniatures and shit. It looks like old school as fuck.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, basically he's saying how the Templars enslaved the Gygax people, and he was a slave for a while until he was mining and found...
Basically religious zealots, basically.
Mm-hmm. Pretty typical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Until he finds the gem, and it bonds with him.
Yeah.
And then eventually somehow they get it from him when they exile him.
Yeah. Very
Rita Repulsa style.
Basically.
After 10,000 years, I'm free. It's time to conquer Earth.
So she tells him to learn how to be more fun and watch some TV and leaves again.
Mm-hmm.
And then he fucking touches the TV and he's like, it's an electric device. Maybe I can fuck with it and basically communicate to my... his tribe of other evil bastards.
Yeah, his people in Gygax, yeah.
And when he does this, the TV goes fuzzy and then starts to fucking bleed.
Yeah, that's a dope effect, too. That looks good. I love how it's an old tube.
It's just good imagery,
Yeah.
It looks cool as fuck. And then I love they're eating chicken for dinner. And all the lines about how it was... she's like that... He says something about the boy kid does. What's his name? I'm like fucking Psycho Goreman. I don't remember his name.
Luke. Yeah, they get
Luke
is
saying some shit about the chicken's kind of tough, and he's like, "Yeah, the microwave will do that."
Yeah, and then the dad's getting so much shit because he fucking microwaved chicken for dinner,
parading himself around basically because he made dinner, and it's hilarious.
And then his wife gets, later on she gets pissed at him. She's like, "Why is the microwave all fucked up?" He's like, "'Cause I made dinner," basically. It's fucking disgusting in there too. It's beautiful.
And then they get up for dinner or whatever, and he's like, "Yeah, it was beautiful. All that matters is that she finished my chicken." And it's like, he's being all weird. He's weird and emotional about it, and he's almost crying, and then she's like, "No, she didn't." And there's like a huge piece of fucking chicken on the plate. And then the line, when he's talking about, she was like, "Oh, you're late," because she went out to play by herself. She called upon Psycho Goreman.
Yeah.
So he shows up, and she's like, "Oh, you're fucking late. Where are you? I've been waiting for forever now." And he's like, "Time is for those who can't shift into the 9th dimension."
Also, I got lost.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fucking amazing because he's so serious, but then he has these stupid little quips at the end.
And they just work. They're not cheesy enough. They're like they still just work for him. And then she's like, "Yeah, make Alistair like me," basically, and he turns him into a fucking giant brain monster.
Yeah, he
tentacles.
It looks like Krang from Ninja Turtles. That's all I could think of the whole time I saw it. And then so there's one thing I was watching, and when Liz was watching with me, she's like, "How do they explain that to his parents?" Which they circle back to later on in the film, which is fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Then the parents see this happening out there, and they go out there and they're freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
And the little girl intervenes and is like, "Don't kill my parents. Don't worry." And then Psycho Goreman's like, be worried.
Yeah,
I will bathe in your blood.
Everything that she says, like, he just fucking changes opposite. That's funny.
And then they do the Frig Off song.
Yeah, the fucking music video they shoot in there in the middle of this is
I'm
fucking...
the heckin' best! Yeah. And then, frig off, frig you, frig yourself, whatever the hell.
I love how in the end of that music video, whatever, that kid's fucking annoying him and he just fucking explodes it.
I wrote that down too. He just randomly, a kid's like, hey, nice Halloween costume. He just looks at him and he fucking explodes.
Him, yeah. It's great. Then Luke is in the nightmare room.
Oh, wait, before that, during that montage, they're eating at a place, and he just, like, devours the plate and, like, the basket and napkins and everything. And it kind of explains how, like, the warrior's death is getting eaten.
Oh, yeah. He's like, the warrior's death is to be...
He briefly explains this story, or starts this intergalactic story before she interrupts him and just cuts away and never comes back to it.
It's so good, too, because, like, you're like, oh, we're going to get another flashback scene? And, like, she just cuts him off like a fucking kid would be like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And he's clearly disappointed because he wants to tell the story.
The nightmare sequence is cool, though. It's interesting. Fun. Visually, too.
He's like, tells Luke, he's like, this is the only place I can speak with you privately.
Yeah, and you need to give me the shit. And he's like, no, I'm not going to give you the shit. He's like, oh, you're stronger than I thought. Well, I'm going to kill you, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's that classical music that plays during the scene in Clockwork Orange. When he whoops the other guy's ass to show his place, on the bridge or whatever, right by the water. That whole thing. I don't know what it is exactly, but everybody knows that shit. And PG's dressed like fucking Alan Grant.
That's my notice. Psycho's dressed as Alan Grant with Krang.
It's amazing.
And they're learning Crazy Ball in the school playground, right? And so she just got him dressed in the best Alan Grant cosplay you've ever seen.
Yeah, it's great. I don't know how many other people would know. Like, it is a direct reference.
Yes.
It has to be, because it's down to the fucking red handkerchief.
Yeah, everything, yeah. And it looks good. Like, passes. And then, obviously the cops show up here, and he decides to partially melt the one of them, and then he enslaves them.
Oh, yeah.
That's fucking amazing. He just turns him into one of his minions.
They're like fucking monsters.
And then that guy tries to kill himself later on when they're walking. It's beautiful. He tries to shoot himself in the neck and doesn't die. And he just keeps begging for death. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, and one other thing, just because I'm a fucking nerd, is after the cop tries suicide and fails, they show up in front of the Spangler Springs police station.
No, I think I remember that, yeah.
I was like, interesting name. I like the reference. And then Darkstream arrives with his friends. The Power Rangers villains is what I said, lol.
Basically.
And that's a pretty good thing. They're like, oh, you've come, basically they get into it.
They think he thinks they're there to help him, and they're all like, nah, dude, we don't even really like you, and fuck you.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, we all take turns being the leader here. They're like, the whole lot of them. And he thinks that's fucking absurd. He's like, what, some democracy bullshit? And the best part is that Mimi makes PG apologize. And then he kills the old crew.
Yep. That part's pretty funny. I like how he makes the one guy stare into a puddle.
Yeah.
It's like a black puddle, and he's like, stare in there and find the true darkness. It's within us all. And then a fucking hand comes out and rips the guy's face off.
Yeah, that face ripping off is so good.
Yeah, it's like a weird alien face and body. It's like mechanical on the inside, too, almost. And it's like, great.
But the eyeballs that stay behind in the mouth and jaw look so good. It's like so fucking campy. It's amazing.
And he's injured during all this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he makes a line of... He says something about them using his blood to make some, like, Herschel weapons or some shit. And the music there is, like, very much the Stranger Things, like, style synthesizer with, like, some, like, just heavy, like, Power Ranger styles guitars overlaid on that sequence.
Stranger Things did not invent the synthesizer.
Yes, but a lot of people will understand that sound of synth based on this. So... It was made after that, so I think that's what they're influenced by when they did that. I understand your concern. Parents are fighting over the TV, and the dad's rethinking. She yells at him for buying that TV, which is amazing. And then he's rethinking the fight on the shitter.
Yeah.
And then Psycho Goreman comes through and fucking talks to him through a portal, basically like, come fucking pick me up.
Yeah.
And he doesn't tell him where. And then, like, the dad's not getting it, gets thrown off the toilet into the shower. And then he's like, fucking gives him the street address where they're at, basically, like the road. And so he goes in the truck and fucking picks him up. It's amazing.
Yep. And then
Pandora arrives.
Yeah, Pandora's talking to the mom. This is kind of drags a little bit from here on out, a little bit here, and it picks up and off. But like, I didn't even write any notes down about them talking, or when they showed up with PG and then went separate ways with just the dad and PG and Mimi leaving. So that happened, and then they go off to the warehouse or whatever again.
Hey, but you can't forget the fucking story the dad tells about the fucking molester van.
Well, that is at the place, though.
Okay. I was going to say, because that's such a fucking great story in this line.
And he's talking about, like, she's like, I don't know what to do because Psycho Goreman says he needs the crystal thing to live, and I don't want him to die, but I don't know if I can trust him because he's going to murder the shit out of us, basically.
Yeah, he's going to
kill
kill humanity.
You know, listen, one time a weird guy in a van invited me in to see his baseball card collection. And when I got in there, he showed me his huge baseball card collection.
Yeah.
And he's like, and I learned to trust people that day, and all this weird story, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's real fucking bizarre, but it's amazing. Because it's just, you're not expecting that, so.
Yeah, that one's good.
And then back, Pandora feeds the mom a drink, and, then she turns into some sort of
monster thing, too, with a cool costume. Power Rangers villain.
Yeah. And then I love it when Mimi goes in the fucking office to pray. And, like, she's praying, and all of a sudden she just calls it all bullshit, and it's, like, totally snarky as fuck. And she's like, what a fucking waste of time.
Which reminds me.
That was so good. I was so fucking laughing.
Sorry to sidetrack real quick. We got to cover Coneheads at some point. I watched it last night.
It's good.
And, listen, the funniest thing in that movie to me now is at the very beginning of the movie when they first check into the hotel, and Beldar's, like, walking around, like, checking out everything in the apartment, eating the soap and shit. And she's just laying on the fucking bed reading the Bible, laughing her fucking ass off. She's just like,
doesn't she have the vibrating bed going too?
Yeah, she's just laughing her ass off at the Bible. I was like, this is
I watched that
fucking
not too long ago again.
Ah, it's so good. Sorry to interrupt and talk about Coneheads. We're talking about Psycho Goreman.
Aliens. It's all
very much necessary.
Very relevant.
Yeah, then they kind of start. They show up and they start like, a confrontation basically.
Yeah, Susan strangles Greg, which is her husband's name, which we didn't really fucking hear until this point in time in the movie.
Yeah. She fucks with the magazine somehow, and he's like, "Not my hunky boys."
Yeah, that's the best part. They circle back to that. There's a few things they circle back to, and the fucking payoff is beautiful.
Yeah, because that gives it context. Like, you got to think he probably did look through that magazine a few times while he was just sitting at the warehouse
bored.
at night.
Yeah, he's bored.
It's just like,
boys. Yeah, because you see the page of that model like shredded, and like he just fucking gets enraged.
He basically defeats Pandora after they play Crazy Ball.
Mm-hmm.
Which, again, not much to say other than they play Crazy Ball, and it's like a big epic sequence, but it's not like super epic. It's not violent yet. Till afterwards, then she's like, all right, fuck this. I don't give a shit that I lost at Crazy Ball. I'm still going to murder you and shit. And,
hey, but let's not forget, during the fight with Pandora, he literally fucking rips organs out of her to make a sword when she's like, you can't defeat me with your sword. And he's like, bitch, fucking like rips all like bones and shit out and puts a sword together. And yet she doesn't lose any of her body mass, which makes it even more fucking hilarious.
Yep.
It's beautiful.
He's like, she calls him something or whatever. And he's like, my name is Psycho Goreman.
Yeah. And then he fucking eats her after
he says, I will give you a warrior's death. And she's like, oh, fuck no, don't. And then, he eats her. Oh, wait. When he says that his name is Psycho Goreman, she's like, oh, that's a beautiful name.
Yeah, she does take note of that, which is good. And then let's not forget, after they go back to normal and like Psycho Goreman's gonna go off and do his thing, like
he's like
agreed to spare us. Yeah, he's like love is basically it's like the moral. He does the whole moral of the story segment, which is fucking perfect.
He says he's like, I don't need the gem anymore. I've learned from you, Mimi, that the true power comes from within, the power of love.
Yeah. As you see him open a portal and start killing people on Earth.
Yes, and you're like, this still isn't gonna end well.
No, like they just gonna live through it is all. Yeah. And then she blows him a kiss, and like he catches it and puts it on his heart, which is
I love that.
fucking amazing. And then
he blows a kiss too.
Yep. And then we get a circle back to seeing Alistair at dinner with his parents while dressed up as.
Well, wait, right before that too. The dad has one last final little line to say, which is just like, "Well, we learned a lot today." And then she says, the mom is just like, what did we learn? And he's just like, just doesn't say anything. She's like, "Oh, let's get you to the hospital."
Well, yeah, because he high-fives Psycho Goreman and like snaps his arm, so he's like bleeding and all fucked up, so it's amazing. Yeah, but Alistair is at dinner with his parents as the Krang brain creature. So.
And there's on the news, they're like, there's a giant naked purple man destroying downtown.
Yeah, and I like how he's giant there, and it's like totally kaiju style, like fucking destruction.
Power Rangers again.
Exactly. It's a beautiful film.
Yeah,
Say a beautiful MILF.
No, beautiful film. I stuttered and said something stupid, yeah.
I do not like beautiful MILFs.
It's the same letters.
Or do I?
No, but that was so campy. It was amazing. Like, that's one of the best, like, intentionally campy movies I've seen.
Well, you need to see Turbo Kid.
Yes, that's good, too.
That's
on
relatively close, but it's... Yeah, I think this is a little better, more personal taste enjoyment for me is Psycho Goreman, but
I agree.
Turbo Kid is not as funny. Same vibe, but not as funny.
Yeah, similar vibe, yeah.
We might have to circle back to it, but I just love how Psycho Goreman's like talking so serious and then like has some silly shit to say, and they circle back to so many things in this movie. Like, why are they doing that? And they circle back on it all. It's great.
Yeah,
good stuff. Good stuff.
Well, that's Psycho Goreman. We have one more segment for you today. We're gonna rank some movies. See. Some of the Child's Play movies.
All of the Child's Play movies.
Prepare to be pissed.
All 8.
Or not, I don't know.
Yeah, you may agree, you may not agree.
Including the reboot.
Which is pointless. Does anybody have it at a spot that's not number 8?
No.
I do. So it'll piss some people off. That's the whole point. Controversy here, kids.
No, rank it.
Or you're just
rank it.
I was about to say, don't be a troll just to be a troll.
I'm not.
Because
put it where it goes in your heart.
If you think that movie's truly better than any of the other ones, just based on that Brad Dourif is in it and then he's not, I don't know what to tell you. That's weird.
He likes Mark Hamill.
I like Mark Hamill, but that movie's boring.
Yeah, I like Mark Hamill, and I like I can't think of her name right now. From
All right, fuck off. Number 8, Child's Play. Remake. Bullshit. I'm not a person who's against remakes or anything. And I went into that one fully expecting something to be decent, and I was disappointed.
And it's a robot. It's a
that's what I mean.
Thing.
It's too different a concept. It wasn't
not
for
a
me.
Psycho serial.
There's no
killer
supernatural
possessing.
element. It's
Right.
Terminator and a doll.
Right.
But anyway,
so should I call something else? And then been fine.
Terminator play. Child's Terminator.
This might piss a few
if
people
off.
off.
Seed of Chucky.
Seed of Chucky is fucking hot garbage. I fucking hate that movie.
That's fine. I totally understand.
It's trash.
Who's gonna piss off other than me? I think I'm the only person that likes that movie.
That's the only...
And my thing would be, I might like it more, but the voice of their son, the Seed of Chucky, I can't fucking stand that shitty accent and like obnoxious voice. That guy just pisses me off.
I've only watched it one other time other than what I watched a week or two ago, and I didn't get all the way through it. I turned it off.
Yeah, I don't like that one. It's just not funny.
Chucky masturbates in that movie.
Yeah. Which the second half,
I mean,
is
it's
better than the first half. So if I left it on, I'd probably.
There's concept stuff there that could be amazing, and like Chucky's
Plus Tiffany's in it all the way throughout. That gives it points for me.
Yeah, but their kid sucks, so that fucking ruins it. Like the rest of the movie,
and Jennifer Tilly's in it.
Actual Jennifer Tilly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I like how fucking made it there with some of that. So.
I love it.
All right, what's your number 8?
I already agreed with him. So Child's Play reboot. Child's Play 2019.
All right, what's your number 7?
My number 7 is Curse of Chucky.
All right.
Because that's just, it is what it is.
Do you think it's boring?
I don't remember it enough, to be honest.
Yeah, you said you haven't watched
it. I haven't watched it again. The ranking could be changed based on that, but...
watch that again. I think you might.
Based on my memory of it.
I like some weird ones, though, man. I don't know.
You like I like them more like the first one, I guess.
Yeah, so my number 7's Curse of Chucky for the same reason. It just kind of stuck in that one house, and it's I don't know. The vibes just didn't feel like it was. Didn't know what it wanted to do.
It's a slow burn compared to the other ones for sure.
Yeah, but and then isn't that the wheelchair girl whipping around the house? Yeah,
So now you don't like people in wheelchairs.
I do. I just think they could have had a better portrayal of them in there. I think that's really offensive.
Oh God!
I think that's
a
really
fetish for people in wheelchairs.
It's it was offensive how they portrayed that person.
I don't think so.
That's pretty
Some
trash.
of what you are about to see and hear is
I think you need
explicit.
to watch it again.
I'm gonna probably watch it again. I have them all, so.
I can't recall anything offensive.
Number 6. Child's Play 3.
No. You didn't do my 7.
Oh,
well, it's not my fault that he rambled on.
My 7 is Seed of Chucky.
All right, so now
The reboot's 8 because it just shouldn't have existed, and it doesn't matter if it's in any way better than Seed
I'm
of
not
Chucky.
saying it shouldn't have existed. They can make one, but they just shouldn't have made it the way they did. I don't know. Whatever.
Shouldn't have existed.
Child's Play
Cult
3 is
Sausage.
my number 6.
Mine too.
It's all right.
My number 6.
I like it.
It's not as bad as I remembered it.
Gotta
I
be ranked,
watched it
though.
recently. There's some good stuff in it.
Yeah.
But it's just like
There's parts of it that
I
were
wouldn't have
filmed
said
about an
it.
hour from here, so we're gonna go check that out probably soon.
Exactly. Yeah. Very close. In Boonville, I believe, right?
Yes.
Hour and a half.
A military school exteriors, I believe, at least.
Mm-hmm.
So my number 6 is the reboot. There's things I know a lot of people gave the reboot flack, but
God, Curse of Chucky Blue.
Yeah, he put 2 Brad Dourif roles in front of that, or behind that, so I don't know what's going on there either.
yeah.
Tough crowd.
Brad Dourif voicing Chucky. If he was doing a fucking stand-up comedy routine, it would be better than those other movies. Once you start adding people in there that suck, I don't care how cool Brad Dourif is. Curse and Seed are just...
Nope.
Well, that's your opinion, and this is mine.
You like Cult way more than Curse?
Yeah. I like shit cheesy. All right.
Then you should be all over Seed of Chucky, because that is the cheesiest.
I can't. I already told you. I don't like that motherfucker's voice. It ruins it for me, and I don't like the doll design. The doll design in that is fucking stupid.
You sound whiny when you do it like that. Settle down now.
I'm just telling you. You're asking me why I don't like it. I'm telling you why I don't like it. So fuck you.
Number 5.
Cult of Chucky.
Oh, that's my number 5 too.
Cult and Curse are the most forgettable to me. But that's just because I've only seen them once, and they're
the newest ones. You haven't had decades.
But also the settings, like isn't
Well,
Cult is a mental hospital basically.
They're like direct to video, so I think that's like there's like one setting, like one's only in a mansion, the other one's only in the psych ward.
Yeah, so it's kind of
so I can see that.
Your number 5, Nick.
My number 5 is Child's Play 2, but it's very close to Cult of Chucky. Like, it's really hard to rank those two. So I'd say 4 and 5 are pretty neck and neck. What the hell is that?
That's my compressor in my
Is that your Xerox
freezer
machine?
All right. What's your number 4, Alec?
Seed of Chucky.
Your number 5? Seed of Chucky.
My number 4 is Seed of Chucky.
Interesting.
Seed of Chucky, I very much enjoy. I laugh it's so fucking funny, that movie. And also, I like Tiffany. That's one of my favorite additions to the Child's Play, lore, if you will.
It's
is Tiffany.
unfortunate that it was that movie, though.
Yeah, but it's still entertaining as fuck because you get a lot of her and Chucky. Like, it's a lot. They're almost in it more than some of the other movies where they're dealing with human characters a lot. Because this is about their family drama and shit. But they're still trying to take over people's bodies. So Tiffany's trying to retake over the actual Jennifer Tilly's body in it, which is hilarious too.
I don't know if it starts out with just Glenn. You're only with Glenn for a while, and I don't know if that's what turned me off the first time I watched it. Because I definitely liked it better the second time, but
it's just too fucking hilarious to me. Like, literally, there's a scene where Chucky's jerking off, and you see his like silhouette, and somebody else outside notices and is like, what the fuck has happened? What am I seeing? Plus, Glenda being androgynous as hell, I just love that. It was portrayed in a psycho way, but not a negative way, where it was like, you know what I mean? I guess you could say that being a psycho is a stereotype of some of those characters in movies. Look at fucking Ace Ventura and Silence of the Lambs. I'm looking at you, but still, it's.
well, I think he was psycho despite being.
Exactly, that's what I mean. He wanted to be normal.
Yeah, it's a coincidence. He's
Yeah.
not psycho because he's...
Exactly. So I'm just saying, like, the way they portrayed that, I like that too. So those are my reasons for Seed of Chucky. You're number 4.
Child's Play 3. There's some fun stuff in there, but overall it's just kind of lackluster, but it's still that kind of original storyline, so I do appreciate that about it. So
it's all right. Nick, you're number 4.
Cold of Chucky. Like I said, it's pretty neck and neck with me for Child's Play 2. Child's Play 2 just seemed kind of like a made-for-TV movie production-wise, so I think it loses some points there for me. But otherwise, I don't really have any issue with it.
My number 3 is Child's Play 2. I think I agree with most of what you're saying, but I really do like once this movie finally gets going, because there's too much of the foster parent bullshit and Andy being sad at the beginning for me. Once it gets going, though, it's good. Once you have like the fucking foster dad dying on the staircase and shit like that, it's like, all right, this is going somewhere.
Yeah.
And I like the addition of the teenage girl. What's her name?
Babysitter Andy.
Andy. No, Andy's Andy.
Oh,
Andy's babysitter. What's her name? I can't remember her name, but I think she's supposed to be back in this new show, too.
She had a cameo in the last movie, and then she's going to be back in the show in some capacity.
There you go.
So, yeah, Child's Play 2. My cat's meowing in the background.
My number 3 is Bride of Chucky. Pretty fucking good entry in that film.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. There's so much shit in there that's new and fresh that they haven't done before, so I think that, to me, that's what stands out, is it's kind of like that, hey...
Kyle was the girl.
That's it, yeah.
I knew it was a
boy's name, is that what you're going to say?
Not a boy's name, but it's one of those androgynous names. It can be for a male or a female or whatever. So they, them, their, whatever, however you want to be. It's all inclusive.
All right.
It's like your bathroom. It's for everybody.
So, Nick, you're number 3?
Number 3 is Bride of Chucky.
You're twins.
Which, even though it's a little sillier than I want a horror movie to be, my personal preference, I just have a fondness for it. I watched it a bunch when it came out.
I'm trying to think of what your top 2 are now. I know one of them, but I don't know the other one. I'm thinking of what the fuck could that possibly be?
Completely way off from you guys.
Clearly, my number 2 is Child's Play. Yep. My number 2 is Child's Play.
Interesting.
My number 2 is Curse of Chucky.
It's pretty beautiful.
Well, we all have a different number, too, because mine's Child's Play 2. I love Child's Play 2. My neighbors had that growing up, and we'd watch that one all the fucking time.
That's the one that played on cable a lot. That's the one you showed me as a kid and that traumatized me. It's one of the most memorable ones of the original, like, early 90s vibe on it, for sure. I think that's the...
I get your made-for-TV vibes, but there's things in that movie I really love. I love how they show you, like, them scraping, like, all the fucking char off the doll and using the original doll again.
Yeah, that's a good opening credits.
That's a minor complaint.
That's good, and then I love the whole fucking sequence at the doll factory. Like, that whole thing is fucking startling and terrifying as a child, like, where you see the eyes getting plucked in, and you see Chucky's head get big and explode. Like, that's so fucking good. There's so many, like, iconic special effects scenes in that just stick with you.
Yeah.
And it's fucking campy enough that, like, it's funny.
I probably would rather watch that than Cold of Chucky. Like I said, those two were...
That was one of those where they started adding humor in immediately. Like, Chucky's pretty funny in that, even though he's a fucking nutty murderer.
I think he's funny in the first one, too. Like, his first line he says is something about the woman. He calls her a bitch the first time he speaks in that one as the doll, so...
Yeah.
Oh, you bitch, you stupid slut, and all that shit. Yeah.
I love it.
But they keep it dark, though. It's not like he's trying to crack jokes,
Yeah.
Yeah. So your number 1
is Bride of Chucky?
You're goddamn right it is.
I think that's a lot of people's...
It's personal. It's
the one people really remember and really...
Well, it's also... It depends on people's age range, I think, too.
Well, like for me and him, we were like going to the movies then, by that point.
Yeah, I remember seeing that in theaters when it came out.
I didn't see this in theaters. It wasn't a thing like that for me. It's one of those things that, like, it was out in theaters when I was, like, 7 years old, so... You hear about it, you know about it, you see the marketing, you see the trailers, you know things about it because you hear about it, and everybody's into that stuff, but you're too scared to watch it when you're 7 fucking years old.
Child's Play 3, too, I believe.
Yeah. Well, it opens up with fucking.
Or something?
It has Rob Zombie.
7
years.
Rob Zombie and like fucking other dope like timely metal soundtrack.
Music, yeah.
And
a lot of horror movies did that time, like the Freddy vs. Jason.
Freddy vs. Jason had like a couple of good ones, but a lot of bad metal too.
But I mean, they had that type of music.
Yeah.
It wasn't like...
Yeah, it was very much in time with it, though, but Bride of Chucky, though, I think works so well because it brought, like, this nostalgic stuff back after Child's Play 3 was kind of like, meh.
I really like how he looks, too, because he's sewn together in that, and that's a very iconic look for him. Yeah. If not more iconic than the other ones, almost. So too, yeah. As well as her. Mm-hmm. Just Jennifer Tilly, first of all, is fucking hot in that movie. And then she becomes the doll, and it becomes iconic, almost as as Chucky.
Other than setting, the first 3 movies are very similar. They don't really introduce anything. They don't do anything new, really. Yeah. So this really does something new by bringing in another doll.
And then they're basically trying to take over those other 2 people's bodies.
Yeah.
Katherine Heigl's one of them.
Yeah, that's
John Ritter's daughter.
Yeah. And, yeah.
Speaking of
they
John
smoke
Ritter,
weed in that one and shit for the first time, I think.
Yeah, there are real funny scenes in that one, too.
Yeah.
They shatter that mirror on the ceiling in the waterbed and that newlywed couple.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
They kill John Ritter with fucking nails, tape, and a...
And then he wakes up later and he looks like Pinhead.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Yeah,
there's kind of a shitty death there, I will acknowledge.
Was that his last movie?
I don't know.
I was thinking it was.
I don't know, my number 1's the original.
Or is that Bad Santa?
It's fucking crazy, though, because I hadn't seen the original until much later on, because I saw Child's Play 2 over and over and over again, just because my friends had it on tape, so we'd watch it all the time.
Child's Play 1's your number 1?
Yeah, the original. I mean, it's such a unique concept for the time, right, where you have this, and then, I mean, some of the lightning effects and stuff hasn't aged as well as some of the other movies, but just the origin story of, like, him getting into the doll and doing that, and then all the nostalgia feels for the toy stores, what's on the shelves, like, it's so much fun to look back and see that, but it's really unsettling in a way that was fresh for its time, so, like, it still really holds up.
I like the tone of it. That's why when it gets sillier later, it just, I don't know.
I love the silly ones, too, for other reasons. It's just like Freddy. It's like, you got someone that's got a fucking mouth that can be funny, so, like,
serious ones, yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street's amazing,
but
right?
My thing with horror movies is even if you're trying to do a killer doll as a serious movie, it's going to be funny regardless. You can take it seriously, and I think that's what you're trying to say is like the writing of it is serious.
The tone of the first one was pretty straight.
But I watch it and still laugh my ass off, though.
Yes, it's
if
funny.
If you find that funny, yeah, but I don't think they were trying to be funny.
Well, I'm not saying they were. I'm just saying they were taking it seriously, but the movie is funny.
Did you watch...
Versus the writing being later comical on purpose.
Did you watch, like, the Puppet Master movies and stuff like that?
I haven't seen those. And I just watched Wishmaster and Wishmaster 2. Wishmaster 2, let me tell you. There's a guy...
They got dolls?
No. But a guy gets told to go fuck himself.
And that's what happened?
He's like, I wish my lawyer would go fuck himself. And later on, he's meeting with his lawyer, and the lawyer's bottom half twists around and bends up and starts fucking himself against the table. And the guy's like, what are you doing? What about my case?
That's amazing.
I was like, wow. You should watch those Wishmaster movies.
I watched them when I was a kid.
They're on Tubi for free.
Are we going to review them?
At some point. I bought them. So that's our list. What's yours, Nick? I'm assuming Child's Play.
One.
Yeah, so.
And
a lot of people's would be, number 1 would be either Child's Play or Child's Play 2. Some people Bride of Chucky, but
I think
Bride
a lot
of Chucky's
people
for me.
Bride of Chucky, especially around our age, I think.
Well, and there's that whole thing, too, like you said, like my friends had Child's Play 2 on tape, but it was also on TV, on like cable television channels, HBO, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot. So a lot of people saw that, and they weren't replaying. Like nowadays, they're much better about replaying older movies or the first movie in a series, so you can get that on demand and all these things. Back then, they didn't do that. So it was like, here's this movie. You take it as alone, as its standalone thing. So there's people that just have the nostalgic ties to it. So I totally get why everyone likes the individual movie they like.
And if anyone doesn't know, the new Chucky series has premiered, and we will review that later. You will see later this week.
Yeah.
But you have to watch them live, I guess, on
or you can stream them or buy them
TV.
from places if you have the right services, I guess. I don't know.
I think you have to stream them live or pay.
Fucking figure it out, because it's difficult. I don't know, man.
That's why I haven't watched anything on Paramount Plus yet, because I'm like, fuck your streaming service at this point.
But They've released the first episode
I
on
will
YouTube.
crush your bones into dust!
The first episode is on YouTube, so you can at least check that out.
Well, they're smart. They want to build up the
decide
fan
if you
base
want
for
to pay
that,
for it or whatever.
And if people are smart, they'd let you buy like some of the stuff immediately, right, for consumer. You know, and like they are with this one. Like you can buy your digital copy of it and have it immediately. So
have it immediately.
Did we like the first episode? Find out later this week.
Find out later.
Or depending on when you're listening, it may already be out.
It may actually happen. Well, thank you for listening.
Where would we put the first episode of Chucky on our list of movies?
I don't know enough about what's going on yet, but I do really like the vibes I got from it.
Yeah,
that's all I'll say right here.
It's worth watching. That's all.
It's definitely. People say it's taking the serious vibe, but also it's
pretty fucking
hilarious.
It's not as serious as I thought it was going to be. Yeah, but it's not. It's not Seed of Chucky level. So
it's hilarious.
It's Bride of Chucky level, maybe.
I hope so.
Or Cult of Chucky level, maybe.
Oh, you think so?
Hey
guys, thanks for listening to the Frog Brothers Podcast. We'd greatly appreciate it if you could like and subscribe if you're listening on YouTube. And if you're listening on the audio feed on Spotify or Apple or Twitcher or wherever you listen, tell your friends and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube at youtube.com/thefrogbros. Hit us up on Instagram at Frog Bros Podcast, on Twitter at bros_frog, on TikTok at Frog Bros Podcast, and follow us on Facebook. Join our Facebook group, Frog Bros Video, by searching just that, Frog Bros Video. Hit request to join and you'll be approved. We have shirts available. The link is in our Instagram bio and below in the description. And you can find stickers on Etsy at Frog Bros, all one word. Additionally, if you'd like to give us a call and leave a voicemail soon, our Patreon will be live and we'll be posting monthly responses and reactions to the voicemails. Dial 816-832-5388.
Twitter has way more handles taken than some other spots because it was a pretty popular platform. Yeah.
Okay. They can hear us? When he started talking about it.
Shut this off. Shut these all off.